One of Coach Schroll's role is to coordinate fundraising events so the team can practice with proper equipment like this bow and this arrow. This is called a sousaphone, and when the team is traveling to New York, this will have to be put in a separate van because it takes up so much space. This sidewalk connecting Garden Hills Drive to the railroad is one of the most highly littered areas in Champaign. Most of the waste coming from households are t-shirts, fast food litters, and clothes hanger. Students at Jefferson Middle School are learning a quite unique sport, archery. It all started when a PE teacher decided to come up with the archery team after students kept asking for more in her class. Cheryl says she's always passionate to really know the kids and see them improve.
It excites me to see them excited to come to practice. And then when we go to tournaments, like I remember our very, very first tournament 5 years ago, and we came in third place and we had a little trophy, and they were like holding it to the bus window so that all the traffic going by could see it, you know.
Kids are excited to learn from her as well.
Well, she makes it fun and everything. She's always very happy, very peppy and everything.
They say that she not only focuses on archery skills and improvement, but also on behavior and grades.
She'll say, you can go after school for this, for math and science and so on, things that I never thought an archery coach would ever do, but Coach Scholl does.
With Scholl as head coach, the team started in 2012 with just one team. Now they have over 100 students and 4 teams with 3 other coaches working with Scholl. One of Coach Schroll's role is to coordinate fundraising events so the team can practice with proper equipment like this bow and this arrow. Schroll says it's amazing to see the concentration and confidence grow in students as they compete in tournaments. Her goals are for her students to be recognized at a national or world level competition.
So we missed it by 9 points last year.
As a retired PE teacher, Schroll wants to take coaching one year at a time, but for now, she is fully occupied with the Jaguars this season. In Champaign, Sue An, UI7 News.
Now, we are the biggest band in the Macy's parade, and we sound like the smallest.
Thanksgiving is getting closer, and that means nerves for the Marching Illini. The band will perform at this year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade for the first time. They will be performing in front of 3.5 million live spectators, plus the 65 million viewers watching from home. And boy, they are so excited.
People are already talking about like, oh, I have to go get Mariah Carey's autograph. They're all super excited. The energy is super high because we've never done anything like this before, as far as I know.
Marching Illini director Barry Hauser says it's his 7th time playing at the Macy's Parade, but it doesn't make it any less intimidating, especially because they are playing with Santa Claus.
And we've been given the coveted spot of bringing in Santa Claus, so we'll have quite a bit of wait time. We're scheduled to be on NBC in Herald Square at 11:54 Eastern Standard Time or 10:54 Central Standard Time. And so we bring in Santa Claus, and then that's the conclusion of the parade.
It won't be easy trying to get nearly 400 people to travel from Champaign to New York. That's why the band needs 7 charter coaches and 1 equipment truck. They will leave on Sunday at noon. This is called a sousaphone, and when the team is traveling to New York, this will have to be put in a separate van because it takes up so much space.
Here comes Santa Claus, ho ho ho!
The Marching Illini will add a short creative section to its Herald Square routine to introduce Santa Claus.
Santa Claus! Here comes Santa Claus, ho ho ho!
In Champaign, Sue An, UI7 News.
Exciting day in the world ever. I think it is. And we get to bring in. Here we go. Stand vocal.
Champaign is a relatively clean city, but some neighborhoods and interstate areas are still affected by litter.
This community changed over the years. You know, a lot of parenting skills are no longer in place like they was when I was little around here, and I think that has a lot to do with people placing value, you know, on keeping up their property, keeping their yards clean.
In order to address litter in Champaign community, the City Council has affiliated with Keep America Beautiful, which is a national program to raise awareness and reduce litter across the U.S. Keep Champaign Beautiful is actively involved in combating litter. On October 16, the team conducted its second annual litter index survey. After randomly selecting sites, team members individually scored the litter level from 1 to 4, 1 meaning the lowest and 4 meaning highly littered. Last year's average score was 1.56, but the hot spots from last year still remain highly littered. This sidewalk connecting Garden Hills Drive to the railroad is one of the most highly littered areas in Champaign. Most of the waste coming from households are t-shirts, fast food litters, and clothes hanger.
Then over on the other side of town, you got homeless people. You know, I'm not trying to criticize anything like that, but a lot of them have, you know, wine bottles and trash and stuff because they live on the street.
David Oliver says that many of these garbage come from consumers and businesses.
So not only do we want to work with some of the big box stores, and if you notice, I'm not mentioning names because we're not here to point fingers. We want to point towards solutions. It may be forming those partnerships with those businesses to help educate their consumers.
Oliver says on October 31st, Champaign is partnering with Champaign Rotary, Boys and Girls Club, and Operation Hope to pick up, analyze, and identify the litter in Interstate Drive and North Prospect Avenue. In Champaign, Sue An, UI7 News. Police say an 18-year-old Champaign man has been killed in a shooting on the city's north side. The coroner today identified the victim as Jeremy O'Neill of Champaign. Police investigators say O'Neill and another victim were sitting in a car when shots were fired at about 5:30 last night. The incident took place in the 600 block of West Beardsley Avenue, just north of Spalding Park. The second victim has not yet been identified but remains hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say in the midst of the crossfire, one car collided with another, causing an accident. No other injuries were reported. An autopsy for 18-year-old victim was scheduled for today. Back on campus, the lack of a budget is already leading to some spending cutbacks. U of I President Timothy Killeen this week announced nearly $24 million in university spending cuts in anticipation of the budget fallout.